You know, they say there's an artist in everyone. Earlier this year, I got to spend some time with an artist who's been a divine inspiration my whole life. Oh, did I mention she's my mom? Tole is a French word meaning lacquered or enameled metalware. It arrived in America in the 17th century with German, Swiss, and French settlers. Also referred to as decorative painting, it has flourished from its original use on tin and pewter to modern times and expanded to metal, wood, or just about any surface, such as furniture and as a mural treatment, mostly floral, but has become even more popular as a faux finishing technique. I'm the luckiest guy in the world to be able to share this next story. This is the house I grew up in, and I have to admit, my mom really is a rock star. And growing up here, we were always encouraged to be creative. Before we get started, let's backtrack to the 1930s. Marlys May Sunday was born in a farming community in eastern South Dakota. She was raised on a farm and lived a life of strong faith and morals. Once she graduated from high school, she wanted to follow her aspirations, to be either a dress designer or airline stewardess. She followed an older sister to California, was married, soon settled into another small but modern San Lorenzo, and before you knew it, she had 5 young sons to raise. She always liked to draw, but never got the chance to pursue it. She only had art until 8th grade, and nothing in high school. In her late 30s, she discovered Tole painting, and found that Tole painting is a method painting, which was easily taught through learning techniques and using other people's patterns. One did not have to be an artist to practice its essence. She began by using other artists' patterns, and eventually evolved into creating her own patterns, as many Tole painters do. She has been painting for more than 40 years and teaching for 36 years, including 14 at the San Lorenzo Adult School. These days, she is back at the adult school taking classes to keep connected, and feels that she has come full circle. She still paints more than any artist I know, even with the time she spends with her husband and being an integral part of a local food bank.
This is the food that comes from the barrels that they put in the stores before Christmas and Thanksgiving, and then they box them up, but we usually get it after Christmas because they don't get it.
So, now that we've caught up with her, let's hear in her own words about life as a decorative painter.
Some of the paints will come in your hobby shops. They'll come in the bottles like this. They're a liquid. And others, the kind that I use is it's a little bit thicker, and it's a better quality, but that's not to say these are not good. They're very good. They do the job, so it's just a matter of preference. And you can find them in any hobby shop. The brushes are generally, they're sort of a soft, but not they don't flop around. They have to be firm but soft. I guess that's the best I can say. Usually you'll have a round like this, and then a flat brush like this, and a liner, and 3 brushes will actually take you through pretty much. My pretty much specialty recently has been over the last 20 years or so, has been Norwegian rose mulling, and that would be, this is an item I'm just working on now. It's not completed. Norwegian, as I said, and it literally means rose is flower, And malling is painting, so it is like flower painting. The rose malling has a lot of scroll work. Most of it does. There's some that doesn't have the scroll work, but most of it, at least my favorite.
What would you say a piece like that, how long that would take?
Oh, 4 or 5 hours if I just sat there and painted and didn't leave it. This style does not have the scrolls in it so much. They're very simple, bold flowers. Excuse me. This comes from the western part of Norway, from the west coast of Norway.
Her personal patterns are colorful, vibrant, and full of life. She continues to reveal the source of rose malling.
Rose malling probably first came into the United States in the 20s when a man named Per Lisny came to Stoughton, Iowa, and he was a wagon painter. He painted on wagons, of all things. And it soon found that was not going to make a living for him, so he started painting on plates like this, and he had a particular style that he used, and he was suddenly became very, very famous in that part of the country, but also all over the United States. People were clamoring for his plates. So that kind of introduced it into the United States, and then in the 50s, or 60s probably, the Norwegian Museum in Iowa, they started bringing people over from Norway to teach classes. And then from there, one lady in particular, Vi Thodi, went to Norway and learned it. And then she came back, she wrote many books, and she was really kind of the one that really got the rose malling started in the United States. And then about the same time in the 60s, 70s, there was a lot of women back in the Midwest that were painting, doing the, quote, Tole Painting. And they got together and created a society of decorative painters. And from that, I think the society now has over probably 5,000 people worldwide. So it's what started basically at a kitchen table has come to be a pretty big industry.
This is where we wrap up the first part of my visit with Marley. In part 2, she takes us through some decorative demonstration and gives us more insight to her life as an American artist. So usually this time of year I like to put together some outtakes taken over the year. But oddly enough, I got everything in one take. And a lot of you aren't aware I have a son, and usually he's behind the camera. I'm going to bring him in now and introduce him to you. This is my son, Andy. Hi. All right, you can go watch the car now. Okay, Daddy. Or go do your homework. Okay.
Hey, Dad. How much I can pay for this?
Nothing, actually. I'm going to get you a new Xbox.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, and hey, no, it's not AART. Hey, where's Zoe? Anybody saw Zoe? Zoe! Zoe!